That looks good. I've got very wet hair because I've just come out of the shower. Um, this is actually Saturday, June the 20th, um, which actually is the summer equinox. Is it? Summer solstice, sorry. Um, it's the longest day of the year. Now, I always thought that it was always just the 21st of June every year, but apparently there's a little bit of wiggle room between years, which makes sense, to be honest. So the summer solstice actually falls on today, Saturday the 20th of June. Today is going to be the longest day of the year. What a year 2020 has been, eh? Um, okay, so the reason I'm just going to quickly go through the last few days. Wednesday, I did work, and then I went over to a job opportunity. I met a business owner, had a very nice 15-20 minute chat, and that might secure me some work part time, a few days here, a few days there, kind of thing, just throughout July and August. So, because my supermarket job is coming to a close because it was always a temp contract. I was hired because of the lockdown and it was only a 12-week contract, and that's now coming to its end. I did get an extra week out of them because my store manager was actually fairly good. He could have got rid of me a lot sooner, even before the contract was through, but he's kept me on because obviously he likes to cut my jib. So Wednesday was productive, but then I didn't really do much towards the end because I kind of passed out because not only had I done an 8-hour shift, I then, was driving all over the place trying to get another job opportunity. Thursday and Friday were a bit like nothing days. I was just kind of very casually doing my own thing, wasting a lot of the day, reading reading Atomic Habits. Saturday, which is today, um, I had family around that I hadn't seen actually since pre-lockdown, so over 3 months ago, um, and that we had like a family lunch in the middle of the day today, which was very nice. And then I had a couple of hours to myself where I did some reading in the garden, was very nice. And then my brother asked me to go help him because he's basically tearing down half his house and redecorating. So I had to help him. Huge, big um, refuse bags full of bricks and shit. When you take a sledgehammer to a wall, basically, big whole bags, like lifting them up and downstairs, well, downstairs into a wheelbarrow, wheeling that around the house and putting the bags into a skip for a good hour or so, which is very sweaty, sweaty work, especially in the middle of the summer in a very dusty house. Ugh, wouldn't want to repeat it, but of course I'm going to inevitably have to because the job's only just been started, and he's my brother, so I help him out. Um, and then basically the rest of today, I've got my sister-in-law cooking for me, which is very lovely. Um, as a sure it's a bit of a thank you for helping out today. And then I'm just going to finish Atomic Habits tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to do what I've been calling productivity paraphernalia. Um, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, he describes as motion, where it feels like you're being productive. You're doing a lot of busy work, but you're not actually getting on with the habits. You're making like charts and schedules and X effect cards and everything. It feels like you're being busy, and you're reading into it, and you're following like productive subreddits, and it's like it's all just fluff. It's not actually getting on with your life. And I've just been stewing for the last few days about a lot of ideas that I can do. What I'm going to do is Sunday tomorrow is I'm just going to go skip through Atomic Habits again and then basically draft my ideal kind of morning and evening routine. So if nothing else, I'm fully in control with how my day starts. I'm fully in control with how my day finishes, and those hopefully those routines will form good habits. And I want them to be flexible enough so they don't actually are dictated by when I go to bed and when I wake up, because some days, obviously, as you've been aware, I will be waking up at 5 a.m. so I can be working in a supermarket. Some days I'll be sleeping in. And obviously, the days where I tend to sleep in is when the day goes to shit and nothing happens. But beyond that, I need a flexible morning and evening routine. So regardless of when I need to wake up, it's going to be the same. So I don't feel like I'm punishing myself because I slept in a couple of hours than I did the rest of the week. I can still crack on with the day in a similar fashion, um, etc., etc. And this new job that I potentially might be getting at the end of this month and throughout July and August, again, it's unreliable. It's not going to be full time, and there'll be some days where I know I'm going to have to wake up really early, and then there'll be other days where I won't have work to do, and I'll be having work to do at home, and I'll be getting on with my own business and setting that up throughout the summer. And I think generally the reason why I haven't done daily vlogs for the last few days is generally because this is what happens when I start a new habit. The first 2 weeks go really well, and then it starts to unravel itself. And I can see it happening from a mile off. But what I want to do is really enact a lot of the advice that James Clear has in Atomic Habits. I'm going to reorganize my room. Basically, I've got a few ideas, such as my phone is not to be in my room. My bedroom is a phone-free zone, which means I'll be charging it in a different room in the house. My phone will not be allowed in my bedroom whatsoever, purely because it doesn't matter how many website blocking apps I download. It doesn't matter if I disconnect from the internet. When I want to check something, my little lizard brain will find a way to get on it. If the phone is not even in my environment, or if my phone has to be turned on, or if my phone has to be connected to the internet, etc., 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 then there's a far, far, far less chance that I'll grab my phone and start wasting time. And that's generally, if my day's gone to shit because I've been wasting time on my phone. I will still do daily vlogs as part of this new routine. What I want is I'm going to be basically trialing this new routine from basically the last 10 or so days of June. So I can kind of, any teething problems I can work out, any kind of problems where I'm like, that worked, but this could be better, etc. I will be doing those sorts of things. And then July, I don't know if I'm going to be this ambitious and try and keep to the same routine for an entire 6 months of the year, but it'd be very good to be able to say December 31st, at the end of 2020, I can be like, the last 6 months were the most productive 6 months of my life. 6 months is ambitious. And what I intend to happen is from Monday is for you to be able to have links in the description of videos, so you'll be able to follow along with what I'm doing habit-wise. You can follow along with how many days I haven't done this or I have done this, getting rid of bad habits, creating good ones, etc. That's always been the name of the game. Hopefully, of course, hopefully in time, this channel won't just be this hyper focus on productivity and then judging myself for how well I did. Hopefully this will be a part of my life where I nail all these habits down. I nail good habits in my 20s, in my mid-20s, and then obviously I just live the rest of my life how I intend to, how I imagine it in my head. The thing is, I've got aspirations and ambitions and dreams in certain industries that just require a hell of a lot of self-motivation, a lot of self-gusto, basically, a lot of self-confidence, a lot of self-esteem. You just have to be willing to attack it every day and take knocks on the chin. Don't care about failure whatsoever. So yeah, I'm really sorry about my hair being so curly and ringlets, etc. It's because it's wet. But I definitely do have European Jew genes and blood because my granddad on my paternal side was Jewish. So I think that's why I kind of have some of the telltale signs of Jewish ancestry. That was a bit of a tangent. I'm just aware of how kind of Jew-fro my hair gets, especially when it's wet. What else? Oh yeah, my light's been fixed. Can I? Oh yeah, I'm not switching view. My brother, my family who I haven't seen for a long time, who came over today, he switched my ceiling light, so that's all fixed. I don't know if I mentioned that in the past. I think I did. Yeah, because we went to the store and I had to buy a new ceiling fan. I told you, yeah. Anyway, so it's been Wednesday and today were very busy. Not necessarily productive for myself, but they were busy regardless. Oh no, Wednesday was busy for myself, yeah. And then Thursday and Friday kind of were in between days where I wasted a lot of time. I saw my friends yesterday, Friday the 19th of June. I visited my friends. We held a socially distanced barbecue at one of my friends' house, and that was very good. I saw a lot of faces I hadn't seen for over 3 months, So that was really kind of wholesome and nice to do. And I think gradually, as the lockdown becomes more and more liberating, restrictions get lifted, basically. I went a cat-handed way of saying that. I'm sure I'll be seeing more and more. And because I'm going to be playing a lot of golf this summer, I can tell you that much now, purely because golf is one of the one things you can do socially distanced quite easily. And I'd love to be able to like just have a handy. I don't have a handicap. I don't play frequently enough to get one. By the end of summer, by September, I'd love to have a handicap. I'd love to be able to just have enough consistency for every shot to be half decent. Play granny golf, where you don't care about how hard you hit the ball. You just want to get it 100 or so yards closer to the pin each strike. So don't worry about hitting it too hard. As long as it's 100 yards, or so closer to the hole, you've done a good shot. And don't chastise yourself too much for failing or whatever. Golf is definitely a mind game. You tend to get inside your own head and then kind of put yourself off for the next stroke or hole or even the entire round. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of talking, but that's brought you up to speed for the last 4 days. I was always going to miss a day at some point. The thing is once you miss a day, you're like, fine, I miss a day, and then it becomes 2 days and 3 days. It's like when you don't go to the gym when you're in the middle of a fitness routine, and then you justify not going to the gym the next day, and then the next day, and then suddenly you have to start all over again and get the willpower to get into an everyday routine. So it was always going to happen. I'm kind of glad I've kind of hit this period though where I've got a lot of ideas for how I'm going to incorporate everything I've learned from Atomic Habits into my life. And tonight I'll finish the book. Sunday I'll just be planning it all out and incorporating all of those things. And we'll see what the next week and the rest of June have in store. The rest of June will be a litmus test to see how I've incorporated and how successful I've been in incorporating the ideas in Atomic Habits. If it is successful, then great. I imagine I'll have some teething problems. I'll alter them, and then I can hit July, the 1st of July, the ground running, and see if I can really do 6 months of really ideal living where morning routines locked down, evening routines locked down, and also everything in between, sorting out when I'm doing fitness in the day, sorting out meditation, when I'm doing that, because I always do it at a different time of the day, which is bad. How I'm going to change my environment to make sure, because I have to work in my bedroom. It's where I've got my desk and recording booth, which is this ugly black thing behind me, which almost looks like the same size and shape as a wardrobe, funny enough. Yeah, I have to work in my bedroom, so I'm going to have to learn to turn my bedroom into a hyper-productive space, and my bed must only be for reading and sleeping. It can't be for browsing the internet or entertainment. I can't lie on my bed and consume content or media from either my phone, my tablet, my laptop, whatever it may be. I cannot do that. I cannot allow myself to do that. And there'll be other environmental changes that I'll probably make elsewhere in the house as well, just to make them hyper-productive. Anyway, I've spoken almost non-stop for 14 minutes. So, I guess that shows what fitness does to you. Well, it wasn't traditional fitness because I was just going up and downstairs lifting heavy bags of bricks, but it counts as something. I just spat. That's gross. Anyway, thank you. I have not forsaken this channel. I'm just, working out some kinks. Cool. See ya.